Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 995. Yes, we are just 5 episodes away from the big 1K. Got me a haircut yesterday, too. 1,000 episodes coming up Tuesday. We'll run it back. Do 2 episodes next Tuesday, October 10th, 7 a.m. Central, or as we've been running 10 to 15 minutes late, might be a few minutes tardy next Tuesday. Episode 1000, we'll open up the stream, both 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. shows. If you want to dial in and chat, hang out, we'll do that. So that's next Tuesday, episode 1000, 7 a.m. Central and 7 p.m. Central. So it's fall. The leaves are turning color, falling. We've got these trees. I don't know what they are, but man, are they messy. Man, are they? This is obviously, we've only lived here for a few months. My first fall in the neighborhood. So, yeah, just messy. And then when you take the dog out, Biscuit tracks them in, just messy. Got a haircut yesterday. I've started going to Sport Clips. I've always been a Great Clips since I moved here. I've been going to Great Clips, but they're always closed. Like there's 3 locations. Actually, only 2 that are like close-ish to me. One of them, I think they just closed. One of them's never open. They're not closed. They open every once in a while. It's kind of like the Dollar Tree. It's like we're open from 11 to 1 on Wednesdays. So I've been going to like Fitchburg, which is way out of my way. So and they're always busy, probably because they're the only Great Clips, and guys like me were driving all the way to go there. So their like wait time was always like 2 hours, and it's like, well, I guess I'll go tomorrow. And tomorrow came and went, and so my hair would get long. So I went to Sport Clip. I'm like, hey, and there's a Sport Clips. It's right smack dab between Walmart and the post office. Not like my normal post office, but a post office. So I can just drop my packages in a blue box. So I can kill like 3 birds with 1 stone. Boom. In like a 2 to 3 block radius, I can get my envelopes over at Walmart, check out the card section, get a haircut, drop off packages at the post office. So I went to Sport Clips yesterday. And there's TV. You can watch TV. It's a bonus. Pay a little more for a haircut, but hey. They got me a haircut yesterday. Ran some errands. It was nice to get out of the house, run some errands, not just ship and list and ship. And so that's kind of the point of today. And I think we alluded to it a little bit yesterday. I alluded to it a little bit yesterday. Just a little hobby burnout, man. But that comes with the territory of anything you do on a daily basis. You know, and I always use the steak reference. Like, I love steak. But if I ate steak every meal or every day, I would not love steak as much as I love steak right now. That's just basic human behavior. I love baseball cards. I'll never stop loving baseball cards. They've been in my life since I was a wee little lad. But sometimes it's like they're a little too much. And I think right now I was thinking about this morning as I was developing what I wanted to say. I think it's just this time of year for me. It's not you, it's me. I'm going to have that speech with my baseball cards. I'm going to have to walk into my baseball card room, say, guys, I'm not feeling it, but it's not you, it's me. The weather's although it's actually been pretty warm the last couple of days, but the leaves are changing, and I know what comes after that. Snow, cold, like 6 months of it. It's also tax season for me, which I've got a pile of freaking paperwork next to me. That's what I worked on half the day. So that's not fun when you're talking baseball cards, when you're having to do paperwork. Doesn't matter if I made money or not. If I made lots of money, it just means I'm going to have to pay lots of taxes, do lots of paperwork. So I've been going through that this week. So I think it's just baseball's over for me, as a Cubs fan. I did watch, I had playoff baseball on yesterday. How about the Twins? Go Twins. Happy for the Twins. Happy for the Diamondbacks. Maybe a little happier that they beat the Brewers. But I said I was kind of rooting for the Brewers. But I don't have to hear chirping from Brewers fans. So that's a little icing on the cake. So I think it's just it's just this whirlwind. I think I'm going to have to be prepared every October. Hopefully the baseball part works itself out and the Cubs are in the playoffs next year. But I think it's just tax time for me and the weather changing and getting colder. And I just need to suck it up, Buttercup. Deal with it. It's frickin' October. But you know what follows October? Christmas season. I love me some Christmas season. Sales usually, we touched on that yesterday. Sales usually see a little holiday bump. So happy for that. So we're going to go into how I found my happiness. I reignited that little flame with my baseball cards yesterday. I sat on the couch last night. I was watching some wrestling, turned the baseball games off, watched a little wrestling, and listed a few cards, listed some lots. Hey, by the way, last week we talked about Travis Kelce and how Taylor Swift is affecting the Taylor Swift is affecting the Travis Kelce football card market. I put a 27-card Travis Kelce lot on eBay for $25. That's damn near $1 a card for Travis Kelce Commons. Guess what? It sold. Took a couple days, but it sold. So Travis Kelce, his card sold. So I listed some other lot. I listed a Deion Sanders lot. I listed because he, Colorado Buffaloes head coach. What else? I listed a Devontae Smith rookie lot, bunch of rookies. So we'll see how those do. I'm not expecting much movement, any offers or anything until we get for Deion Saturday for college football, and if the Eagles play, and I guess it depends on how well Devontae Smith plays. So I think I listed some of those. I did list when I had my little rip party with my buddy Brian a couple weeks ago. I had one lonely Bowman U basketball box, which I ended up pulling a yellow gold refractor auto of a no-name, and a Johnny Juzang gold refractor, non-auto. I listed the Johnny Juzang last night for $15. This morning I got an offer for $12, and I'm like, boom, take it. So that one sold. So did a little listing last night while I was watching some wrestling. Where are we at? In the chat, we've got George. What's happening? Good evening to you, good sir. We've got Steve. Good morning. Diamondbacks, big winners last night, beating the Brewers. David, good morning. What's up? Carlo does vintage. Good morning. Putting my 50 cents down on a Phillies-Orioles World Series today, with the champs being the Young Guns in Baltimore. That'd be a fun World Series. I'd be down for that. I definitely want the Orioles to represent the American League. I'm definitely an Orioles fan this postseason. They're a fun team to watch. Where are we at? Postseason. So we've got the Twins moving on. They beat the Blue Jays in a sweep. So Twins and Astros, we know damn well everybody's rooting for the Twins. Nobody wants the Astros to win that. The Rangers swept the Rays. I was rooting for the Rays in that series. So we've got Rangers-Orioles. Go Orioles. So I'd like to see an Orioles-Twins American League Championship Series. Unfortunately for my Twins fan friends, I'm going to be rooting for Baltimore. Over on the National League side, Diamondbacks sweep the Brew Crew. Wow. The Wild, all of them were sweeps. Not a single one is going to 3 games. Interesting. I guess I wasn't following it as closely as I thought. Diamondbacks sweep the Brewers, so they play the Dodgers. We're absolutely rooting for the Diamondbacks. And then we've got the Phillies and Braves. So the Phillies knocked out the Marlins. I wanted the Marlins to win that series. So we've got Phillies and Braves. I'm rooting for Atlanta. So I want to see the Braves and Diamondbacks in the NLCS. And I'd like to see the Braves move on to play the Orioles in the World Series. Orioles, Braves, that's my dream World Series for this year. My dream World Series for next year is Cubs and whoever is in the American League. Whoever. Uncle Rich, good morning. What's happening? How about those D-backs? I'm looking forward to seeing some playoff baseball in Arizona next week. Heck yeah. Go Diamondbacks. Beat those damn Dodgers. Harlan's in the house. Good morning. Mark Marinello's here. Good morning. That was a quick wild card round. Yeah. Boom, boom. 2 days. And we're done. So what's the schedule? When do we resume playoff baseball? So I won't have a background of playoff baseball as I'm printing tax documents. Damn, we don't start the next round until Saturday. So 2 days off. Saturday. Well, and I guess, yeah, because you'd have a day in between if there were 3 games in the wild card round. Okay. So Saturday playoffs resume. Dan, what's up? Good evening to you. Donald's in the house. Good morning. Royals 417 is here. What's happening? Christian, good morning. Been a long week. Worked 16 hours yesterday, but back on today. What is up? That's a long day. That's like you sell baseball cards. Work 16 hours. Shane, good morning. Herman's in the house. What's happening? He says he's going to have to dust off the old webcam. I love it. Next Tuesday, episode 1000. TCDB is the best. We're going to talk a little trading card database today. And how about the Twins, the Twinkies? Moving on. JW, good morning. Andy Mack is in the house. Henry says, question mark. Mark Marinello's here. Really enjoyed your appearance on the One Cardinal, One Cub, One Beer podcast. Guys put on a good show. I'm hooked. They do. It was a fun program. Fun podcast. We want to keep that up. Let's move this one. So in case I linked it up yesterday. Is this it? 20 hours. This is probably the one. So let's share this link. Copy it. So here is wrong screen. Here is the here's the link to the podcast, and this is the one where I was appearing. I guess you can't click that. Hopefully you can click it in the chat. But that is the One Cardinal, One Cub, One Beer podcast. Vincent and John on there. Hit them up with a sub. We got them up to 60. They were, I think, at 46 yesterday morning. They're at 60 subs. So let's keep them on the sub train. Victor, good morning. Max says it's not you, it's me. I've heard that before, he says. I think that was around my 12th girlfriend when she found out I didn't change my own oil. Happens all the time. It happens. Hey, I did some manly stuff yesterday. So we had our garage done. It's getting some like floor putting starting next week. So this is just, oh God, it's the bane of my existence. So we had the garage. I've cleaned that damn garage like 55 freaking times. Moved shit around. I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done with that damn garage. So the garage finally, the drywall and everything, it's textured. It looks nice. Looks nicer than what a garage should. So the workers were supposed to, they broke my damn and this is what annoys me to shit. So my wife had this decorative glass like garden thing, and it like kind of loops, and it's got this big glass ball, and I'm fucking klutz. And I'm like, oh, every time we bring it in, I'm like, I'm going to break this damn thing. So we're getting the garage moved when this garage project started a couple weeks ago. And I thought, I didn't say it out loud, but I thought in my head, we should probably put this like in the basement or somewhere safe. Because if it's going to continue moving around, because every time they work, they're going to move shit out into the driveway. When they're done in the evening, they're going to move it back into this is going to get moved. And it's not like we're dealing with white glove delivery here. We're dealing with drywallers. And they might not, maybe a little rough with our stuff. Well, they weren't. I was. So I had it set up against something, and I moved, and all of a sudden I just hear, and it was like you're on like one side and it falls over here, and you just watch it. You just watch it happen. You can't do anything about it. Glass everywhere. Now I've got to clean glass up. So the drywallers actually broke my leaf blower. I pick up my leaf blower and then like half of it's missing. I'm like, what the F is this? I'm like, oh, it just came unconnected. No, one of the clips broke. Son of a bitch. So they were supposed to let's see, this was, what's today? Today's Thursday. So Tuesday night, they finished the job up and they were going to come back because they left their tools. They were going to come back yesterday morning, get their tools, and then they were going to move everything into the middle of the garage. I'm glad they didn't because they weren't very good at moving stuff to where it should go. They just moved it like, oh, we need this spot open. We're going to ignore that. The rest of it, we're just going to put shit everywhere. So I'm kind of glad because I would have had to move shit around anyway. So I had said, I'd also been drinking. I had said, oh, no. We could take care of that. You know, I can tell. Don't worry about it. I can change my own oil. Oh, well, we'll take care of that. What I meant was we're going to have to move it anyway. So we might as well just move it. But then it's like, oh, wait, just moving it to the center of the garage. So they didn't move it. They filmed a TV commercial at our house yesterday. The general contractor for our job, he owns a roofing and siding company. So they filmed, and I thought it was going to be like a camera person, a sales rep, and my contractor. And then I look outside, and there's like 12 people out there. A big thing. So my wife's like, can you go? Because my chair's out here. I just leave the cushions on. They get wet and all that. I leave the cushions on. Well, they're not like tied down, so they fall off. My wife's like, can you go change put the cushions back on the chairs? I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, well, they're going to film an overhead of the house with a drone. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So then we had to go like pull weeds and pick shit up. They got a ladder and went up on our roof. So I'm excited to see the finished product. And I'm glad they were there because we have like these windows that we ordered that we didn't use. Now we're desperately trying to get rid of them. And they're gigantic and heavy. So fortunately they were there. They could move those against the wall for us. So then I got some shit done. Oh, I ran my errands, and then I came home and I moved. I did manly things. I got my ripped jeans and a t-shirt. I went out in the garage and I worked in there and got dirty like a man, moving shit around. I regained my man card. Value Box Digger says, as a best of 3 versus 1 game wild card, every team that won 1 game took the series anyway. Yeah. I like the best of 3, the sudden death that we saw for a couple of years. I hated it. Even though the Cubs, did come out victorious. At least one of the they beat the Pirates one year. That would have been 2015. But then I think in 2017, that was when they lost. I think they lost back-to-back sudden death wild cards. One year they lost like 2 do or die games. And it's like, okay, it just wasn't meant to be. Because I know they lost to the Rockies, which I think put them in the wild card, and lost to the Brewers. And both were home games. It's like, take care of your business. Take care of your business. Brian says, I found happiness in my Korean Pokemon boxes. Broke even. There you go. There you go. I had a professor that said breaking even makes you starve or something like that. I'm sure it was something. I'm sure I'm messing it up, but break even makes you starve. But at least you found happiness. You didn't lose money. You didn't make money. Michael Renicky, what's up? Good morning. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. What's happening? Tracy, good morning to you. Royals 417 making the trip to Dallas next month. I think I am not going. I think I'm not. It's been tentative for like the whole year. But I'm leaning on the side of not going to Dallas in November. Value Box Digger says the Cubs are still hungover from their 2016 win. Took them 108 years to get there. Going to take 15 years to stop celebrating. The honeymoon is over, though. You know, the funny thing is about the Cubs, and I don't see the Cubs fan celebrating 2016 as much as Bears fans celebrate 1985. Like, I still feel like Bears fans are just living off the past from almost 40 years ago. Cubs fans, we're still nostalgic for 2016, but it just doesn't, it feels much different than being a Bears fan. And, you know, everybody's focused on that Super Bowl 20 in 1986 was when the Super Bowl was played. Let's see. Rich says Saturday. Yay. Big Harv, good morning. What's up? Hall of Fame card collector had a 13 card order. Very cool. Brian Baker's in the house. One good thing about this hobby is that even though times have been tough and I'm selling pretty much entire collection, I can get most cards back someday or just start completely over, which sounds fun. Absolutely. And that's the thing about which I don't put that mindset to practice. I should have sold my Justin Steele stuff a month ago, you know, before the last couple starts, because now we're going into the off season. His stuff's going to decline, you know, because I can buy it back in the off season for where it declines to. Make a little money, I can get it back. And I even have duplicates of some of this stuff. You know, Don Zimmer, there was a podcast, and all of a sudden his 91 Topps cards were selling for $10, $15. I have 1,000 of them at least. David Bodie, I wrote that roller coaster when his Bowman, and he was only had a first Bowman paper autograph. It was a retail only auto. It was at release. It was like $25, and I'm like, it's David Bodie. And then all of a sudden, David Bodie. So then it does after like a month, it comes down in price, and I snagged one for like $10. And I'm like, that's a price I'm willing to pay for a David Bodie autograph. Then he hits a grand slam on Sunday Night Baseball to win the game. And all of a sudden, that same card that started at $25, dropped to $10, is now $75. And I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I've got to sell it. But it's like, it's my only one. Even though it's a base paper auto, I can buy it back in a month for $10 again. And now he spent all year in the minor leagues, and now it's probably in a dollar box. So I think about it, but I just never, it's hard for me to part with my personal collection. And that's what makes a PC a PC. It's our personal collection. It's not for sale. Although there's always a price. There's always a price. You know, if somebody said, you know, my Cubs collection is not for sale, unless somebody comes in and says, I'll give you $1 per card. You know, that counts for your 88 scores and your 1887 Old Judge, $1 per card. I'd be like, you're damn right. I'll start moving boxes. Everything, there's a price on everything. What's a realistic price? Because I don't think $1 million for my Cubs collection is realistic. What would that price be? I don't know what that price would be. If somebody said, I'll give you $500,000 for all of your Cubs cards, would I take that? I don't know. My wife would be like, you're damn right you're taking that. And I'd be like, but honey, hold on here. Would that be a price? It's certainly over 100,000. 200,000 I would not take. 300,000, 500,000. What's my price? I don't know. I'd have to see the cash in front of me. Like you could just say, I'll give you, because it's all hypothetical until there's cash on the table. Be like, okay, maybe I will take that offer. 4-leaf cards. But going back to that, it brought me a lot of joy. For just a small amount of time last night, it did bring me some joy. Finding my roots, because I get Cubs. People give them to me. I buy them and bring home every card show. And then they just go in a box. It's like I take a picture, I put it on Twitter, and then it goes in a box and I never see it again. Or I'll find it 6 months from now. Oh yeah, I remember getting this at the card show. 4-leaf cards, what's up? Good morning. Christian says, does anyone else just pull up random sets on TCDB and just scroll through the images, or am I the only one with that sickness? I bet you're not the only one. I do that similarly with Wikipedia. We'll be watching, if we're watching something on Netflix, I'll be like, I wonder who this actress or actor is. And I'll search and I'll go to Wikipedia and then I'll look the cast of, like, Suits is something we've been watching. I'll go to Suits. I'll be like, who's he been in? What's she been in? What's he been in? What's she been in? And like, oh. And then all of a sudden I'm down this rabbit hole and I'm like, did you know she's married to this guy who was in Full House? Or I don't know, just throwing shit out there. So I don't do a TCDB rabbit hole, but I do go down those Wikipedia rabbit holes. Big John, collector cards. What's up? Good morning. Royals 417 said, verified an important lesson this week. If your card room is in the basement, keep all cards. Oh no. Keep all cards at least 6 inches off the floor. Damn toilet supply line busted. Oof. Yeah. Keep those. That's all my shelves. I've got space. So they're not. I do have some like boxes on the floor, just like kind of on an interim basis. But yeah. Don't want that. Mr. Smith, good morning. Thanks for occupying me recovering from surgery. Going to experiment listing while on vacation mode. Maybe my sales won't decrease as much if I didn't list. There you go. Let's see. Joe Caprino's in the house. Topps just announced that if you own a taco fractor of the first person who steals a base in the World Series, you get Taco Bell for life. I had a feeling because they made some, not an announcement, but they alluded, that's my word of the day, they alluded to the fact that there was going to be something coming down the line regarding the taco fractors. And I had a feeling because they do the steal a base, steal a taco with Taco Bell. And I'm like, it only makes sense. Taco Bell and tying it in with Taco Bell. Taco Bell for life. That doesn't sound like a prize to me. But hey, if you like Taco Bell, more power to you. Now that I say that, it's like at noon today, I'll be like, I'm kind of hungry. Taco Bell sounds good. I had Burger King yesterday because I was out running errands. We're a little low on groceries. I was out running errands, and I was in the chain restaurant capital of Western Madison. And I drove past Wendy's because it's across the street from the Sport Clips. Right next door to Sport Clips is, what the hell is it called? I think it's called Adolph's Tex-Mex or something. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. But I didn't go. Of course I didn't go. It's like path of least resistance, right? drive through. Like, I just go where you know. Burger King. So Wendy's was across. So I'm like, Wendy's. I'm like, not feeling Wendy's. So I went to Burger King. Jesus H. Christ. Do you know how much a value meal for Burger King is now? I got a Whopper. Not even like large. I got a medium extra value meal or whatever the hell they call it. So you get a Whopper and you get fries and you get a drink. Now back in the day, it was like $3, $4. Now I know I'm talking like 25 years ago, 20 years ago. $13 and change. It was like $13.25 or something for a freaking lunch value meal at a fast food restaurant. Let's do the inflation count. I'm curious actually what I remember. You could get like a Whopper extra value meal back when I was in college, early to 20 years ago, for under $5. I'm pretty sure. I know it wasn't. If it was more than $5, it wasn't much more. So what's the inflation calculator? So let's see what. So remember, so $5. Oh, come on, just give me the calculator. Here we go. So say it was $13.25 today. $13.25 in October 2023 has the same buying power as, we'll just use October. We'll do 20 years ago, 2003. Oh, they don't have data for October 2023, obviously, because we're still in it. So I guess it's not too crazy. So $13.25 today is the equivalent of $8.19 back in 2003. Let's go to 2001. That's when I was eating Burger King like 3 days a week, $7.87. So I guess that's not too terribly crazy. It's kind of in line with inflation, very close. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I'm still in that. And I think that's when, as we age, we just kind of think back, like, it's like my mom will always say, like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 10 years ago. And I'm like, 10 years ago, Mom, 30 years ago. And I think the longer we're alive, the longer we live, it's, we kind of lose track of time. Like we always think the 80s were 10 years ago. The 80s were damn near 40 years. Well, the beginning of the 80s were 40 years ago. I think it's like, oh yeah, the 80s were like 10 years ago. We just kind of 10, 15 years ago. And I think I just have this because of in college eating fast food every day. I guess $5 for an extra value meal. And here we are 25 years later, 25 years later. Like, oh shit, $13. But I also don't eat lunch. And I think another thing is I don't eat lunch at fast food very often. Like usually when I'm at a drive-thru, it's for breakfast. It's like I get a coffee and a couple sausage burritos, which is like $4. Why the hell is lunch so expensive? Yeah, coffee's like $1 for a large coffee. Burritos are like what, $1.50, $2? Paying like $5 for my breakfast. That hasn't changed. I bet a McDonald's coffee hasn't changed price, barely changed price in 20 years. What was a large coffee? I was drinking coffee 20 years ago. But I don't ever remember getting coffee in the drive-thru. It seems like it wouldn't have changed much. Where are we at? Royals 417 says, fortunately, no cards lost, but it could have been very painful. Yeah, absolutely. Only lost a couple of bat cases that were sitting on the floor and minor water damage on some bookcases. Man, that sucks. Good morning, Mark. What's happening? Let's see. Mr. Smith says, yes, you lost to the dang Rockies. Yeah, I remember that. My autograph 16 by 20 of Hosmer scoring in game 5 is safe. Oh, Eric Hosmer. That's a 4-letter word around here. And probably in every other city that he's played since that World Series. Mark F, what's up? Good morning. Peeps in the house, good morning. Twins, they're moving on. Survive in advance. Red Light 34, good morning. Card Hobbyist says, I know the feeling. I'm a Dolphins fan, so our fan base clings to the 72 perfect season. Yeah, they do. Popping champagne. It's all we got except for Dan Marino, who never won a Super Bowl. Shane says, went to the Hill last night. That was a really good movie, but if you're not religious like me, there is way too much God Jesus talk. Great story, though. Would recommend. Let's see. Shane says, now you can cling to the massacre of my Broncos. East Coast Tom is here. What's up? He was hoping for a Brewers-Orioles World Series. Oh, well. I'm rooting for an Orioles-Braves World Series. Card Hobbyist says it's already lost its luster after the beatdown by the Bills. Tom says it's A-Rod's Tex-Mex. What did I say? Adolf, A-Rod. Hey, it could be Adolf Rodriguez, maybe. A-Rod's Tex-Mex, and it's awesome. Okay, I've got the East Coast Tom seal of approval. I'll have to go check out A-Rod's Tex-Mex. Let's see. Max says, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Adolfo's. Adolf probably isn't a much-used name anymore after 80 years ago. But Taco John's is the only Tex-Mex that's worth putting in your butt. Taco John's. The last time, and there's not too many. Of course, I grew up in rural areas, so we don't have a lot of the fast food joints. But we were at, it was the Summit League Championships for men's basketball back in, 10 years ago, 2013, 2012. And my buddy Kyle, he was sports information director. We always worked late. I was putting my audio highlights together from the game. He was doing game notes and getting prepared for the next game. And so we would work in like the hotel lobby till like 3 a.m. after games. And so we'd always have a late meal after a game. So we hit up Taco John's in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And talking about money, and this was 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. I think we spent like $30 at Taco John's. And it's like, I know Taco John's is probably a little more expensive than Taco Bell, but we're used to Taco Bell prices and like $30, but we ordered so much freaking food. We were like just gorging ourselves with those little hash brown things or whatever they're called. Taco John. So whenever I see Taco John's or hear Taco John's, I think back to the Summit League Championship, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and just this gigantic bag of Taco John's that was $30. Shane Koopman says, you want some fast food BS? A junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's used to be 99 cents. Now it's over $3. So how long ago was it 99 cents? Because if it was 99 cents like 25 years ago, I can understand. But if it was 99 cents like 5 years ago, then we've got some issues. Red Light 34 says, WTF, $13 for a value meal. $4 more, you could buy a discount blaster at Whoa. I know. I could have gone and hell, for $13 you can get those leaf blasters on discount. Of course, that's pissing away. You might as well set $13 on fire than buy those leaf football blasters. But it might bring me more joy than eating a Whopper. Although I was satisfied. Mark Marinello says, that's nothing. I took my family to Madison Square Garden for a Raw show. We decided to stop into McDonald's in Times Square for a bite. I can already see this is going to be expensive. Family of 4 came to $103. Well, that's the Times Square McDonald's. That's upscale, man. $103 for fast food. Yikes. Thank you, Red Light 34. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Shane says, I was going to say something about that. Even if your name is, unfortunately, Adolf, I won't be putting that on a building or my restaurant company name. Good point. Good point. Burger King is the worst today. Their 2 for $6 mix and match has 4 of the 5 items with $1 or 2 extra charge. So it's more like 2 for $8 or not. That's sucky. I don't like that. I don't like that. But I'm kind of hitting myself. I spent $13 at frickin' Burger King. I'm driving down. I always eat when I go to Burger King. There's like a gigantic open parking lot. So if you're familiar with Madison, it's on Odana Road. That's the one I'm at. And there's this gigantic parking lot because the only thing that's there, it's like some like craft is Joanna Crafts. There's Joanne, like I think it's a craft store. Some other like built a business I've never heard of. I think Burlington Coat Factory. And like, so, and they've got this gigantic parking lot. And I think it used to be, I think there was a Shopco in that like facility. So it was a big retail, but now it's just smaller, like crappy stores. So it's a gigantic empty parking lot for the most part. They've got a new like religious store that opened up. I think it's like a Christian bookstore. It's called Adam and Eve. Although they've got like blacked out windows. I don't know why. Maybe they don't want people seeing those Bibles. I don't know. So that's where I eat my Burger King. And not at Adam and Eve, but in the parking lot behind it. So then I'm driving back. I finished my Burger King. I'm driving back and I see this new fast food joint that just opened up in this corner of Mineral Point Road and Gammon has some good spots. They have that Mod Pizza, which I don't like. I think Mod Pizza sucks, but there's a City Barbecue, which I've never had, but I love barbecue. And another place that just opened up, which I've never heard of until now. It's this place. Present. Share screen. Dave's Hot Chicken. Have you ever had Dave's Hot Chicken or heard of it? Dave's Hot Chicken. So let's take a look at their menu. What? Oh, they don't have prices. Oh, you sneaky little bastards. So they've got tenders, sliders. Ooh, that looks good. Served with kale slaw, pickles, and Dave's sauce. 2 sliders with fries. They got 1 tender and 1 slider with fries and 1 slider with fries. Let's see. Oh, to view each location's pricing on the Order Now or Locations tab when ordering for pickup. So let's take a look at that. I probably would have went with the 2 sliders with fries. I would have went with the Dave's number 2. So let's order Sligo Drive. Is that? Oh yeah, that is right by Mineral Point. Let's order for pickup. I just want to see pricing. I'm not actually going to order. We want the number 2. $13.99. This is the same price. A little bit more after tax. It's going to be $14. But for $1 more, I could have had 2 Dave's hot chicken sliders with fries. Should have went to Dave's. Has anybody had Dave's hot chicken? I'm curious. Now, so I want to know if you've had Dave's hot chicken, and I want to know, is it Dave's hot chicken because it's like hot spicy? Or is it just like hot because it's like, ooh, that's hot. Don't touch, it's hot. Because if it's spicy, I don't want it. If it's got a little bit of spice, I'll take a little bit, just a little bit. But I don't want like spicy, burn my tongue spice. So who's had Dave's hot chicken, and why is it called Dave's hot chicken? Cooter says buying power is one thing. The big issue is wages haven't increased at the same rate as inflation. That's a good point. Although they're paying like $17 an hour for McDonald's. I see the sign now hiring $15 to $18 per hour. Back in 2003, 20 years ago, it was a third of that. They were paying like $5, $6 minimum wage because my friends in college would work there. Minimum wage. So they're paying like 3 times. And actually, the food it hasn't increased 3x. Brian, what's up? Good morning. Cooter says collectors' insurance policies don't cover water damage in a basement unless cards are stored 6 inches off the ground. Interesting. Hall of Fame card collector says, I was wondering why it was named after evil Hitler. Right? I just finished watching Saw 1 through 9. I heard that Saw X was good and wanted to watch 3 through 9 since I'd never seen them. They were not very good overall. I don't think I've seen a Saw movie since 2. I thought the original Saw, the original Saw came out at least 20 years ago, right? Came out in the early 2000s, I think. I think I was in college when it was released. So Saw was like, it was, and I'm not into like, it was like, ooh, like, I don't want to see that. And I watched Saw 2, and then it just kind of like another one. But I've heard kind of the same. Like after 1 and 2, they're kind of shitty. Where are we at? Card Hobbyist says there's like 30 plus Mexican Tex-Mex restaurants in my town. That doesn't include Taco Bell's. See, where I'm from, Taco Bell is like authentic Mexican. That's what happens when you grow up in rural Illinois. Hobby News Daily, who wants Taco Bell for life? That's that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, Taco Bell for life? I think I'm going to pass on that. Who's a Taco Bell fan? Give this to the highest bidder. Royals 417 should probably look into a policy for that. Let's see. Max says that Wendy's stuff had to be 99 cents close to pre-COVID, right? Not a big Wendy's guy, but Dad would go there when we were out of town, and I'd grab a couple of 99 cent nuggies. Shane says, Bo, it was like 20 years ago, LOL, but I'm still salty about it, along with my steak, egg, and cheese bagel from McDonald's they took from me. Let's see. Do you get Depends adult diapers for a lifetime? I would hope so. Taco Bell for life. Reminds me of the gigantic Subway sign in Citi Field that read $5 footlong that was $11 at the concession stand. $5 footlong. Man, they did away with that a long time ago. Right? It's an adult store. Say it ain't so. Adam and Eve. 2 fast food value meals shouldn't be pushing $30. I know, you would think so, right? Tom says Dave's has a location near Easttown. Great chicken, just don't get hot. The mild is hot. Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering. And they have, let's see, if we click on this. Oh, you can get honey packets. Throw me some extra honey packets. Oh, so you can select your slider heat level. So you've got no spice, light, mild, medium, hot, extra hot, and Reaper. And there's a disclaimer with the Reaper. It means don't order that shit. I'd probably go light, mild, which is the lowest next to no spice. Dave's Hot Chicken. I'll have to check that out. Dave's Chicken is looking pretty good. Heck yeah. It's breakfast time. You know what's really, chicken and waffles. Where was I? I was somewhere. Oh God. It's the Game Place. What the hell's the Game Place? Dave and Buster. I was thinking Dave and Adams. Not Dave and Adams. Dave and Buster's. There's a Dave. Actually, the Dave and Buster's is just down the street from the Burger King and from the Dave's Hot Chicken. Oh, there's a Portillo's actually right next door to Dave and Buster's. Could have had Portillo's. So what was I talking? Chicken and waffles. So we had I think instead of trivia one night, this is back when we were playing trivia on a weekly basis. Instead of doing trivia, it's like, let's go to Dave and Buster's. We went to Dave and Buster's, and I'm like, oh, damn, chicken and waffles. Well, they have the calorie count on the menu, and it was like 2,500 calories it was something disgustingly high. It was the amount of calories that was in the Dave and Buster's chicken and waffles was just absurd. I'm like, man, it sounds so good. But since if the calorie count was not on there, I would just be like, give me the chicken and waffles. And I'd eat and I'd be like, why does this shirt not fit me anymore? Well, because you ate the chicken and waffles. So yeah, chicken and waffles. I don't want Dave's sauce on my sandwich. Dave's Chicken sounds like Raisin Canes or Slim Chickens that opened up here. An hour-long wait to get food. Hey, speaking of opening up, Taco Bell. Speaking of opening up, shit, where is that? There is something going up, and I just saw shit. And now I don't know where. Oh, I think it's going up next to the Burger King. There's I think they tore down a building or something that was there, and they're putting something up. And I saw it on the Nextdoor app. What are they putting up? I don't have to drive as far for my Popeyes chicken. They're opening up a Popeyes right there on Odana Road next to Burger King. So I'm excited for that. Because otherwise, the only Popeyes around here, you have to drive all the way to Fish Hatchery Road, which is like 20 minutes. Actually, it's like 15. But still, now I can just go 5 to 10 minutes, get my Popeyes. Good morning, Brian Wolf. Jordan Brown is here. It's good and all, and they serve hot chicken different levels depending on how you do heat. Okay. I don't do heat. So I'm going to try some. Maybe I'll go today. A little review, a little Dave's Hot Chicken review. Undrafted player. Hello, all. I just spent $16 at McDonald's. A meal and 9 nuggets box. Definitely not a cheap deal. Holy crap. $16 for a meal and 9 nuggets. Hobby News Daily. Adam and Eve is an adult store. That's why they blacked out. I thought it was they didn't want the Bibles to get all the sun. Didn't want to sun dry the Bibles. Sun-dried Bibles. Cooter says everyone should insure their collection. If you read fine print, USPS doesn't insure cards going and degrading, even if you buy the extra coverage. Dun, dun, dun. Collectinsure.com, I believe, is the website address to check that out. Max says, I'd assume 99% of Americans have never had authentic Mexican, and if they had, they wouldn't want it. The blandness is gross. I don't know if I've ever had like truly like down by the border. I was in El Paso for a time, for a few days when I worked in basketball, but I think we just had catered in regular shit. We didn't have any authentic stuff. And I think when I went out walking around, I had McDonald's one day. But I don't know if I've had like authentic, non-Americanized Mexican. Hobby News Daily. Pink tacos, Hollywood Casino, Vegas. Moist pink tacos. Can't make it up. Cooter, you are correct about USPS and others on shipping. They won't cover collectibles. Yeah, and even like, and I worked in transportation, the insurance that you get is, especially when you're doing like less than truck. So I dealt with truckload freight, less than truckload, mainly truckload freight, which the insurance there is much better than less than truckload, which is like your UPS, your FedEx, Dayton freight lines, Old Dominion, some of those freight lines. Not like a packet, not like UPS and FedEx that are driving through your neighborhood, but like the over the road, less than truckload freight. And you really got to watch out those insurance. We've had some, when I worked there, we had nightmare claims with insurance, and almost all the time they go against you, and it's just a giant pain in the ass. The biggest thing I learned, and I had to deal with this multiple times, was you pay like an upcharge, like $200 for guaranteed delivery. And then when it's a day late, they don't give you your money back. And it's like, but you guaranteed delivery. And there's fine print somewhere. And so we take it to our LTL rep who talks to they get the rates and everything. And sorry, we can't do anything. I'm like, so our company is going to eat this money. We are now, because I can't guarantee delivery to my customer and say, yes, we will get this here by Friday. and then it doesn't deliver until Monday. And then they said, but you charged us $200. I can't just say, sorry, but we've got to eat that. And if I know this, now I can't sell guaranteed delivery. So that's why I just said, screw you, LTL. I'm dealing with truckload only. Carlo does vintage. Dude, why don't you weigh 350? Chicken and waffles. I know, right? It's because I looked at the calorie count. I saw chicken and waffles. How much calories? So I don't eat them. I want to, but I now know. Thanks to Dave and Buster's. Slab City Sports Cards. What's up? I listened to you about a month ago and I made some money because of it. Hey, I like it. Last night I opened my first ever Ginter case and killed it. Very cool. Love it. Love it. Trout Mini Auto, Griffey Jr., J-Rod dual rip, and an Astros Mini that is 1 in 7,000 packs, just to name some of the hits. Thanks for the advice. That's a hell of a rip. Congrats. U.S. Sports Card. Dan's in the house. Good morning. Have you ever gone to the National Bobblehead Museum? I have not gone over to the National Bobble. I've really never been to, I've been to Milwaukee, but I've been to the Oak Creek Card Show a couple times. I was in what town? I filmed with Card Life. We were in, I think, downtown West Bend, maybe. I can't remember, whatever town that was. I've been to the airport a couple times. I've been to Miller Park a couple times. That's about it. Otherwise, I've only driven through a couple times. But no, I've not been to the National Bobblehead Museum. Let's see. Tom says there's a Popeyes on East Wash near the mall. Grease Factory. I love me some Popeyes. I'm getting hungry. Cheers to U.S. Sports, he says. Brian Wolf, McDonald's has an app. You get points and the deals are great. 25% off and buy one, get one fries. 2 kids, so it's a money saver. Interesting. And here I am always annoyed that when I pull up to the drive-thru window and they're like, will you be using actually it's like, well, I don't know. It's an automated voice. I can't do an automated voice apparently, but it's an automated voice. Will you be using the mobile app today? And it's like, no. And then it's like, I'd like, and then nobody answers. Hi, welcome to McDonald's. How can I? Oh, thank you. A real person. No, I won't be trying the mobile app today. But now that I know there's savings, maybe I will. Johnny M, good morning. One day your cardiologist will be yelling at you for the way you eat. I know. I really do need to eat a salad here and there. I'm getting to that age, man. Getting to that age. Max says Chick-fil-A better than Popeyes. Now, see, I'm Popeyes over Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, but I love Popeyes more. Tom says Quick Trip chicken less than Popeyes. I've had Quick Trip chicken. Okay. Oh, Tom corrects himself. Okay. Sorry. I'm at Quick Trip greater than Popeyes. I would rank Quick Trip down low. Doesn't even really register for me. That's my opinion. I'm not a big Quick Trip chicken fan. I was excited because I've heard so many good things about it. I had it. Maybe I just had a bad batch. I don't know. Jordan wants to know CFA. Chick-fil-A is CFA. Chick-fil-A. I also, when I see CFA, I'm like, oh yeah, Chick-fil-A. And I know that because I know Max's affinity for Chick-fil-A. Shane says, UPS told me that BS one day. I paid an extra $15 to $20 for Saturday shipping one time. It did not come on Saturday. I bitched about it and they said, well, it's not guaranteed. Yeah, it's a big suck fest. Cooter says, speaking of costs, if you think fast food has gone up, wait till you hear your homeowners and auto insurance costs next year. I heard 40% increases won't be uncommon because of losses this year. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Shane says, told them I was really happy I spent $20 on a chance that it will come, right? Oh, wait, you're a cheap dude like me and frequent McDonald's enough and you don't use the app. Get on it. Free burritos. Yeah. I don't. Maybe I should get the app. So I found some happiness last night. I was doing my tax bullshit and shipping and listing and shipping. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just cards everywhere. It's cards. And it's business. And I know that there are times where cards are just not fun for me. And it happens. It's not the first time, not the second or third time. certainly not going to be the last time. And I think it's just this time of year. I think a lot of this stress, just getting all my paperwork, taxes. So it's just like cards. So I went upstairs. My wife was watching some show that I didn't want to watch. I'm like, I'm going to go back downstairs. And I'm like, but I don't want to look at cards. I don't want to list cards on eBay. I don't want to stare at my phone like a zombie. I'm like, I'm going to use this time to look at my Cubs cards. And I've started like kind of sort, I've got my sorting tray out. I'm like, I don't really want to sort. I want to like do something with my cards. I don't know if I saw a post on Twitter or something, but I'm like, I'm going to log back into Trading Card Database. It's been a while. And I go into Trading Card Database and I'm like, I'm going to, and I wiped everything out of my like inventory because I lost track of everything. They were in boxes. I don't know where they're at. So it's like, I need to know which cards are actually posted in Trading Card Database. So when COVID first started, my like COVID initially, when we were first quarantined in April of 2020, my first exercise was sorting my Cubs. And so instead of like sorting every single card by player, I was just pulling Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Ryan Sandberg, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and putting those in boxes. And then I started mass listing on eBay, and the rest is history. Here I am doing it full time. So I think it was when Brandon from the Card Life was filming. I'm like, I just pulled a random box. It's Ernie Banks. And I'm like, this whole box is Ernie Banks cards. And it's like, there's like a lot of it's modern stuff, but there's like a 58 Topps All-Star. Love that design. 67 Topps. And then there's some other stuff, which I'll show off here in a second. So I'm like, I'm just going to start listing. And then it's a small Ernie Banks box. So I'll create a shelf for my Trading Card Database inventory. What's actually listed on Trading Card Database. And that way I actually know. I'll mark on the box, Trading Card Database. Need to get a fresh box. That's an old Fleer box. So I went into Trading Card Database and I start listing. And two things were fun. I mean, it's Cubs cards, and I love Cubs cards. So it's like, this is a joy. This makes me happy. I'm not listing. I'm not selling. I'm not doing paperwork. But another thing was, I'm finding these cards, Ernie Banks and Gil Hodges. Isn't that a cool card? It's like, what the hell card is this? And on the back, it just says 1986 Sports Design Products. And I've got like 10 of these. And I look it up, and it's in Trading Card Database. So I list those, and I find out what these are from. That's got like a tear on it. But don't worry, I've got an extra one. And then like this one, at first I'm like, oh, it's 62, and I'm like, oh wait, no, it's perforated. But this is from like 1979, I think, or 80. And I found out like what it actually was. So I'm like learning what some of these oddball, it's like, it's just some random, it's a Broder. Like we all just, it's a Broder. If it doesn't have anything, it's just a Broder. But it's actually got a name. So, and then, so I list, and so this is the pile that I listed last night. So, and then I like look, and I want to see my ranking. So I can show you here. Let's present. So I'm on Trading Card Database. So here's my Ernie Banks collection, ranking among other members collecting this person. So I'm ranked number 98 among other collectors with Ernie Banks. Now look at number one up here, 4, 6, and 8, 2,879 unique Ernie Banks cards. I know I can get to number 2. I can knock off NY Matrix 14. He has 646. I know I have more than that. But 2,879, I don't think I've got that many Ernie Banks cards. And then there's some that I know. Wrigley Wax, he has a great blog. He was kind of Wrigley Wax was kind of one of my inspirations in starting the 1 Million Cubs project, because my project kind of started as a blog. So where am I at? 98. So far I have logged 49 unique cards, and that's this many. There's some duplicates. Like I said, that Gil Hodges one there's like 10 there. There's a couple of those postcards. There's a couple other cards that are duplicates. So I found that fun. It's like, I'm going to list 5 more so I can get into the top 100 and just go for there. And I still have, and these are just the Ernie Banks cards that are sorted. And there's a lot of duplicates still in there. So there's probably, out of this box, there's probably more than 200 unique in this box. This is what, a 600 count box? 6 or 8. And I think when I started pulling these Ernie Banks cards, I think that was I think at the time I had 500,000 total Cubs cards. And I think this was maybe these were pulled out of like 300,000. So now I'm 3x that. So maybe I have 3x this amount of Ernie Banks cards, but I've got to find them and they're just everywhere. So listed some of those, enjoyed it. So I think that'll be kind of like my in evening or maybe in afternoon, kind of when I hit that wall in mid-afternoon, late afternoon before I roll to the post office. Like, I'm just going to pause for a moment and start logging some more Ernie Banks cards or Cubs cards, whatever. So that was where I found my happiness last night. East Coast Tom says National Bobblehead Museum was pretty cool. Admission was $5. It's worth an hour of your time if you're already in town. Very cool. Very cool. Cooter says you should put your Banks cards in a binder. This is a great point. This is a really good point. I don't know if you tweeted something, somebody tweeted something, and I think that's kind of what sparked my interest in going to Trading Card Database. Was I saw somebody, and I'm like, because I think I messaged my Cubs group, like, I think I'm going to create a binder of a player, and I don't know which player. Maybe it'll be Ernie Banks, but just a binder of Ernie Banks cards. And so yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because I was actually looking for a binder last night, and I don't want just I don't know what type of binder I want to. Do I want a pad folio? Pad folios typically are only like 200-300 cards. Do I get like a big D-ring binder? Do I do baseball card albums? I don't know. So that's something I got to decide. Nothing brings happiness like flipping through a binder of your favorite cards. You will look at them more often than if they were in boxes. Absolutely. Because I find myself doing that. I do have a couple binders of autographs, and I'll just grab because I know my autograph, they're in pad folios. And I'm like, I'm going to go back and look to see. Sometimes it's like, do I have a Matt Mervis autograph? And like, I don't even remember getting his autograph, but I have got a couple custom cards autographed by Mervis. And sometimes it's like, I'm just going to go sit on the couch and look at my Cubs autographs. So absolutely. Ken says, hobby happiness for me goes in and out. Sorry if the topic of the day has already been discussed. Nope. Hey, we're just getting to the topic of the day. And that's kind of what I was kind of talking about was, I do this all day, and this is basically my only hobby. Like, I don't golf. I don't fish. I go to fast food restaurants and eat Burger King Whoppers. I should be 350 pounds. But yeah, and I think right now, and I think the reason why I'm kind of going through this, I don't like using the term burn it because I'm not burned out on it, but I'm definitely running on fumes. And I think it's mainly because of the weather. It's getting cold. It's going to get colder. For me, it's tax season. I'm spent half the day printing all kinds of bullshit out, getting my taxes prepared today. I've got to work in Excel for half the day, getting everything organized because I waited until the end instead of doing it month by month. My wife always tells me, do it. Earmark one day a month and do it by month. I should be working on September, actually September, but I should be working, say the 5th of the month, go back and do your monthly. So I need to focus. I need to do that. November 5th, whatever day that is, be like, okay, it's time to compile everything from October. So I'm not burned out next October trying to get all my tax stuff prepared. Victor says I could probably finish my Cubs set collection going through your 900,000 cards. Absolutely. The trick is to find them all because none of them are in order. I mean, except my Ernie Banks box and my Chris Bryant box. Christian says, I am the #1 ranked Cecil Fielder collector on TCDB, always looking for cards I don't have. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I can find, how do we do this? See, I get, after I've been off of Trading Card Database, I forget how to do some of these things. Oh, okay, here we go. There you go. 1,000. So Christian has 1,255 unique Cecil Fielder cards. I'm unranked because Cecil Fielder never played for the Cubs. 1,255 unique Cecil Fielder cards. And he's in first place by a long, long way. #2 collector has 919. So he's over 300 cards higher than the #2 collector. Let's see. Shane says, my childhood buddy's dad used to collect Deion Sanders. I'm sure he has over 2,000 unique Deions. Very cool. And those are worth a lot more now than they were 4 weeks ago and 4 years ago. Brian says, I put all my low-priced Nolan Ryans in a binder. It was the best thing I did for my collection. Very cool. Very cool. Victor says, I have a binder for only Grace and Sandberg. See, those would be the type of players that, yeah, Grace, Sandberg, Dawson, Kerry Wood, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez. Brian says, got to go D-ring. If you don't, it can damage the card. That's true. Some of those binders really suck. Ken says, did you buy that coupon I tagged you in? I did not. Really cool card. But I did not go for that. I haven't really bought many. I only bought that Jefferson Rojas mega box auto at the show on Saturday, $20. One of my dealers has a ton of pre-war. He's got some really cool stuff that I want. He's got the 1928 Hack Wilson, like the milk chocolate card or something. It's pretty rare. It's like $1,000. It's like, oh, that's a really cool card. For me, it's not $1,000 cool. But my buddy Mark bought a bunch, like pretty much everything he had. He had an E91A of Tannehill that was a pretty low, like $125, $130. That I was thinking about. My buddy Mark got it, and he had some other Frank Chance and Joe Tinkers. 2-inch D rings are optimal. Padfolios are too small. I agree with that. 3-inch is too big, and pages more likely to sag. Aha. Okay, so 2-inch D rings. Max says, Cubs going after Trevor Bauer next year. So this is going to be a hot take. I want the Cubs to do that. I want the Cubs to do that. Hot take, and I know some people will. Boy, that was a hot topic on Twitter the other day. Oh my God, people up in arms. But I think it would be good for the Cubs to do that. Ken says they are just tough to find. I actually bought a coupon Chick Gandil a couple weeks ago. Very cool. They are tough a lot, and it's only getting harder to find some of that stuff. Only getting much more difficult finding that stuff. All right. So I'm going to wrap things up. I got some shipping to do before I get to my fun day. Shipping followed by taxes. So I'm going to have to follow that up this evening with some Ernie Banks logging of Trading Card Database. So hit me up if you're on Trading Card Database. I had like 20 friend requests because I neglected Trading Card Database for a long time. So I don't know what the friendship thing does on Trading Card Database, but I had a bunch of requests. So I've got some more friends on Trading Card Database. So hit me up. I'm 1 million Cubs. Surprise. Max says, I just heard about it right now. Pissed that he dropped his suit against the right? I know. Yep. So yeah, I think the Cubs should do it. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow is a free-for-all Friday. We'll be playing Name That Player. We'll have to do let's do a playoff edition. I don't know how I'll do that, but we'll try to steer it toward playoffs. Playoffs. So like, subscribe. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Don't forget the big 1000th episode celebration next Tuesday, October 10th, and we're going to go live in the morning and in the evening, 7 a.m. Central morning time. I guess that's what 7 a.m. means, right? A little redundant there. And 7 p.m. Central time next Tuesday. We'll open it up, so the link will be in the chat. You can join in on the shows next Tuesday for episode 1000, and we're going to go live at 7 and 7 p.m. and a.m. So I'm going to go shopping for some wax for the evening. I think the morning show we'll do I'll figure out a topic. We'll talk about fast food or cereal or something. I don't know. And then the evening I'll look for some wax to rip. So like, subscribe, hit up my eBay store. Link is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Have a great Thursday, and we'll talk tomorrow.